and a good evening. And welcome back to the insanity that is By the Dice.
Sorry, we're a little late. We finally got our technical difficulties figured out.
There was an internet issue which has been resolved. So, without further ado, announcements.
Thank you again to Rip Reptiles for consistent support with pen and ink and paper for the printer.
Beyond that, well, I provided tonight's Old Toby, so... And Chris provided tonight's Heroes Feast, which we already mount while working on technical issues, because, well, we're human. So, to recap last session... Oh, and Thomas, our best goes out to your family on this glorious day. He is not joining us this week because he is at a wedding. So, last week, you all passed through the first day of your voyage, and found yourselves face to face with two Wyverns. Kalora barely scraped out of that alive. I mean, we were at that second wind type moment. Actually, who did get the last blow? On the... Ronan caught the last shot in on the final Wyvern.
Actually, I thought the last Wyvern was me. I thought I threw a spear into its butthole.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. You impaled it with your second shot in the most critical of it. Its outwards became its innards.
Right in the blowhole.
It's fine.
I'm going to have to invent the fizzy drink whale because of you.
The finishing blow was definitely that
I only
Tasha's
think it's
hideous
going to
laughter,
be an ale
though.
whale in Knox.
What?
Getting
An
it to
ale
let go
whale.
of the ship and start falling
Right.
was definitely the killing blow.
And now the party is left with two rather large, strangely glowing wyvern. The glow is not dissipated.
Wait.
I was
Wait.
going to say the one was skinned.
Oh yeah, both were skinned. The skins actually do not lose that effect for some strange reason.
But the one fell into the...
Oh yes, and one of them was... That's right, that was the last one. It was Ronan that technically got the last shot in because Tasha, you got the last murder in.
Yeah.
The other one was Tasha's hideous laughter from 2 miles up with a 10-minute duration on a 3-minute fall.
Yep.
And crit failed its save. So it is now a crater somewhere in the Feltedge lands. And that brings us to the following morning. And I need everybody to...
Roll out of combat.
Well, first of all, roll out of your out-of-combat initiatives, yes. And secondly... I need you all to do... There will be a secondary roll, a flat d20 roll off. As to...
Sorry.
What you got?
I got a nat 20.
Okay, so plus your dex modifier.
3. I think. Let me double check.
Good call.
I got
This is your out.
Yeah,
This is your
3.
out of combat. So out of combat would be a
23.
23,
17.
17.
17.
Roll off. It does not go off whose dex is higher.
Yep. 14.
And we're just doing a flat D20 this time.
No, this one's again your initiative.
Can I have a pencil? Or use a pencil?
You're up.
What'd you get?
Yeah, pencil.
14.
18.
Okay, so
Bing, bing,
it
bing.
will go Wisp, Ronan, Kalora.
Kalora.
Now I need each of you to roll a flat d20 for me, please. Well, you can opt out of this if you'd like, but he who rolls it decides how the day goes.
I rolled.
Okay,
13.
13 on the flat 20.
Yeah.
A 1. Okay, are you gonna opt in or out?
I'm opting in. I rolled a 19.
Okay. Cool.
Am I having a bad
Yo.
day?
Actually, me a favor. Roll these, please, and tell me what they come out as. And that'll tell us how the day
Ooh,
goes.
they're like Benoit balls.
Yeah, no, I like the jingle.
I got a 9 and a 6.
A 60 and a 9?
Yeah, I got a 90 and a 6.
A 90 and a 6? Okay. So on the 96,
Oh, yeah.
on day 2 of your 4-day trip through everything, though you see things moving about, it's a relatively calm morning. The cloud cover and fog that you had seen the day before, which was basically a low-flying storm where the Wyverns were hiding, has cleared. You are all above decks. If there's anything that you all would like to do with the day, we will start with you, Wisp, because you won the initiative.
Alright.
So, we'll say it's roughly about 8:30 in the morning. You actually wake up to hearing birds, or rather vultures squawking, and the just hanging out just in your bunk. It was a very calm evening, so you all did get your long rest. You're not just sorry you're out of luck on this. And how are you starting your day? I mean, you're on board a ship 2.5 miles above the earth, hearing vultures squawking as you chill in a hammock below decks with the crew that aren't on the last night or the early shifts.
I mean, if I'm waking up, I'm probably going to get dressed, put on my usual outfit and whatnot, and go find me some food.
So as you make your way to the galleys, you notice that this morning there's a beautiful sunrise. For some, because of the way that the lands that are fell touched are, there's a pink and purple undertone to the clouds, so it looks like you're sailing on a permanent sunset.
Alright.
And you can smell fresh sausages, hot coffee, the smell of alcohol being cooked off into the air. You know, like they used rum in the coffee, basically. Standard breakfast fare. It seems like they did have some rations tied. Y'all play nice. Or I'm not letting you jar up any more pot, ever. I have metal ones.
I have solid metal ones.
Yes, but these ones
Speaking
that
of,
this year coming.
one of your D12s was over here earlier. I'll have to refind it. But it was a D12. It was the white outline with the green sparkly inside.
Oh, one of my good ones.
Yeah. One of those things that you could totally use for a slingshot round. Alright, so as you make it there, you find that a good half of the crew are kind of muddling about, mugs in hand. They're some of them pouring honey into their like over what looks like breakfast cakes and some into their coffee. And beyond that, it's grab your fare. It seems to be pretty much a grab it as you need it and find some place to be.
Okay.
And that would bring us to Ronan, who, uncommon to your normal, having been a dignitary of sorts, so your normal accommodations, you are waking up to the same vultures squawking.
Vultures.
Well, yeah. Well, they kind of look like vultures, at least.
They're probably kind of vulture-ish.
Jagged beaks.
Voltresque.
Yeah. That's a Voltresque. That sounds like a cross between a Tarrasque and a vulture. That would be terrible.
Right. You wouldn't have a dinosaur there to fall from the sky. Turkey bacon.
If you can cut through the hide. So,
It's a magic sword.
as you wake and the smell of breakfast seems to be getting there, Kalora seems to have been stabilized sometime in the night by the crew and has been patched up and shoved into their bunk and is quite, like, they would be kind of just thrown onto their bunk, armor and all, because they did the best they could to patch up the hole in your side. He's not touching you, ignore him.
That's
Seriously.
exactly what I was thinking. Like, she poked me, and I was like sitting there thinking about what I did to Maylene in the car. Not touching you. Not touching you.
Really? Seriously.
Wouldn't
So-
be playful.
Kalora would be kind of draped into this hammock. Probably in one of the middle ones, an arm one way, a wing kind of almost brushed up against a porthole in the side of the thing.
Oh,
Like they just made, and you can see through their armor in one spot because there's a rather large punch hole right about here now. You wake up because you were closer to Kalora than Wisp was, so versus thinking it's vultures, you think it's the bird dying in its sleep.
Sounds about right.
So what you doing with your morning? Actually, the last thing that you would see as you wake up would be Wisp's back and the back of his heels as he goes up onto the top deck and out. It seems to be bright and sunny from the amount of light that follows.
Guess I'll just go to follow my nose and go to where breakfast is.
And that will bring us to Kalora. Kalora, you're not sure how you made it to your bunk last night, sort of, as you wake up, tangled somehow in a hammock. The reason that you look so disheveled is because from your squirming in pain as the poison left your system, you're actually kind of spun up. You rolled a 1. You're spun up in this hammock. You're not going to fall out. You're not sure how you're going to get out. You do wake up to the vulture-esque things squawking.
so I'm stuck.
Sort of. Imagine if you were in a hammock and were strewn there and it spun.
I like you to roll.
I'm gonna see which way I need to spin it to get unspun.
Go ahead and roll an intelligence check for me.
Can we say I'm seeing by spinning it one way, see if it's getting tighter, spinning it the other way? If it is? And call it an acrobatics?
Persuasion on that one.
Nope. You cannot persuade God. 10% I lost. Or it's below 50%, so I lost. So yeah, we'll call it an acrobatics check.
Yay! Yay!
I was really torn on that one, so percentile.
24.
So by this time, Wisp, you've made it to the. You would have made it to the galley, so you would probably hear the rattling part of this.
Okay.
But Ronan, as you make it about halfway up the steps, you hear a grunting sound, followed by a wee, wrong way, and then a here we go, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unravels, and Calora's squealing, giggling as they go. And then a clatter as they go to the floor, tuck, roll, and stand up, and then start walking towards the stairs, staggering.
How
Still
many
dizzy
points?
from, how are your hit points?
Yeah.
They'd be full from the long rest. You don't take any damage at a 24. You're good. It was
Perfect.
only a DC 20 to not get hurt.
And I'm just seeing if I got, since I lost
15 to succeed, 20 to
lost
not get hurt in the
72 hit
process.
points.
Okay, that's where my D20 went.
Yeah, it was over here.
Thank you. I was sitting here looking for my D20.
I think
I'm
you
like,
aimed it at the jail because it pissed you off at one point.
Possibility. Might have been the one I threw across the room that one day.
Very possible. Alright.
Would you take it because it rolled well?
So, Kalora, as you stagger your way towards the stairs, because that's just the clearest path forward as dizzy as you are, you won't fall over. You've managed that much in your acrobatics. What are you doing? Ronan's at the middle of the stairs. I don't know if he's laughing at you at this point or not.
I'm just rolling eyes like, well, at least the bird's alive.
That almost sounded like a good, like they were happy about this for a second, but you're not really sure. It was kind of deadpan.
Just full on, like, I would say unarmed strike, but I'm not aiming to, like, hurt him. But, like, full strength, just shove him into the wall as I walk by, because I'm not sure if that was an insult or not.
Roll to hit at disadvantage. You are dizzy as fuck.
Will my armor class go up at all?
No.
No.
But they get disadvantage, and there's already been one natural one thrown at the table.
What's your, AC?
Just tell me a number and I'll tell you if it hits or misses.
You can look at that. No matter how you swing it.
19. 16.
With a +8 to my roll.
Hits.
Yeah, that's a 24, so...
I'm pretty sure Roman's AC is a 15.
He's
Yeah.
at 16 or 17 because of his
Oh,
dex. Alright, so Ronan, as they're coming up the stairs, and it looks like they're kind of falling forward up the stairs, quite dizzy,
My AC is
Kalora bumps into you, and it's as if they're trying to catch themselves. You find your face planting into the wall.
Squeesh.
I mean, you're not sure if they did this on purpose or not. It's really not intentional because they continue walking forward like they're following the smell of
The
food.
bird must feel like they're pretty fucked up.
Okay, if I twisted you up in a hammock and let you unwind yourself that way, you'd be dizzy as fuck for a few minutes.
Especially if you're experiencing near death.
Shove.
Didn't you walk away with what, 1 hit point last time?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a few minutes later you would see Kalora walking in through there, like, you would see Kalora walking into, as you sit down with your meal, there
I'm listening, sorry.
They're not really walking a straight line. They look like they probably drank like 3 bottles of whiskey, but your nose doesn't pick up on anything. So it's like you're not sure what the hell's going on with the bird, but they're kind of staggering towards the food zombie-ish. And a few minutes after that, Ronan walks through the door, not in pain, but it looks like his face has been, like, a side of it is reddened from having hit something.
I love that our party just kind of barely
I'm gonna
tolerates
look
each
over at Ronan and be
other.
like, hey, what happened to you?
Crazy ass bird.
Am I in earshot?
It's not
Well,
an
there is
insult,
the
it's
low
the
gain
truth.
of everything, so I need you to make a, what's your passive perception?
That's what perception is 13.
Well, you've got a reasonable chance of, no, you'd hear it. There are about 15 to 20 people in here dining as well as you all, but at the same time, those 15 to 20 people try to keep their conversations low so that they're not interfering with anybody else. It's relatively civil, the captain insists. So, yeah, you catch this because Ronan's voice carries.
I give him a try that shit off this ship, darting glance, and then go back to my food.
So, you hear Crazy Bird, you see the bird look over their shoulder, glare at Ronan, and then go back to picking up food from the quartermaster.
I'm gonna grab like a thing of fish and just walk it over and give it to the bird and be like, you look like you're a little out of sorts today.
I was spun up in my bed.
I've had that happen.
I fixed it, and landed on my feet.
Oh yeah. Looks like watching me doing acrobatics has paid off, right?
Oh fuck you! I had it to begin with. You and Ronan both can take a lamb today.
Wow.
Crazy ass bird.
Go back to eating. First thing I do is rip the fillet off the fish so you can't take it back.
I wouldn't have to take it back.
No, he wouldn't take it back anyway. Be civil about it.
Yeah, I gave it as a gesture. I mean, I didn't lick it or anything before I gave it to you. I just gave it to you. If I didn't like you, I probably would have licked it.
Right?
Or put something on it.
Yeah.
You get all kinds of weird
Like I
things.
I
said,
do have all kinds of weird
on an average day we just kind of tolerate each other, but on a good day we kind of maybe like each other.
If it's a Tuesday and the sun's shining brightly and sad.
We might not be the best of friends, but we do stop each other from dying most of the time.
Or try at least.
Yeah.
Trying to find motivation.
Right. So,
Kalora will take a fucking master hit for Ronan.
yeah. And then he gives shit the next day.
Yoinked your ass out of the way, and then you're giving me shit the next day. I see how it is.
Maybe he's into body piercings. You never can tell. So, as breakfast progresses and the day goes on, how are you planning on occupying yourselves? What are you going to do with your time for the day? It goes and progresses as a relatively calm day. You'll see the occasional bird. Every now and then one of the crew pulls out a musket or some sort of a firearm and takes a pop shot at some birds. If they catch one, they have mages on board that seem to like use telekinesis specifically to catch birds and put them on board. So they're constantly resupplying with meat via flying animals and things of that nature.
Well,
So what would you like to do with your day while you're blowing time? Because those are crew chores and you're banned from doing them.
well, me. Are they ravens?
No, they are not shooting for ravens or crows because ravens and crows taste terrible.
Okay, just double checking. I am going to, since I still have 3 charged stones, I'm going to take 3 crossbow bolts and I'm gonna pop the arrowhead off and glue the stones to the arrow.
Do you have some, what are you using for an adhesive?
I have glue. It's part of one of my packs that I got. That's one of my.
All right.
I have a small pot of glue.
Artisan's tools.
Yeah, somebody uses a small part of glue. And I'm gonna take and glue the stones to my arrows, the flat part of the arrow since I've already broke the tip off.
All right.
And then I'm gonna shoot those with the heavy crossbow that I have at the birds.
So that you're gonna spend your afternoon shooting at birds with a crossbow.
I'm just gonna shoot 3 of them, or at 3 of them.
Anything else you want to do with your day?
It's too early to tell.
Right.
If
So.
I tell you my plans now, it won't be effective.
Alright. And Ronan, what are you doing
meant
with
to do that.
So Wisp goes up and starts. This would be going on while you're prepping these crossbow bolts. Watch him knock the tips off some crossbow bolts, pull out 3 pebbles, glue them to the tips. And while he's doing this, after you all finish your meal, whether you ate together or not, I'm not entirely clear on. But how are you spending the first part of your day until, we'll say, until lunchtime?
So a while back, when I think it was when I looted some witches or something, I got a spell book and a bag of spell components. And since I am now learning magic, I wanted to study that, see if there's anything I could just learn just to help. So I'm going to study my spell book.
So
and my magic
roll D
components.
percentile for me. That would be the 10s and the 1s, D10.
Actually, I know where you got the book. The hags we killed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And it wasn't, well, the Book of Vile Darkness went through the portal into hell.
Yeah, but there was
Mhm.
still other spell books in that shed.
Oh yeah, quite a few.
Yeah. Explains where you got your magic.
I love you, man.
I am inquiring with.
Well, we're still waiting to find out what he's doing with his dad, though.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm waiting on the D percentile.
58.
Ew.
Not the worst.
Bad roll.
That'd be better or worse than the guy from Avatar.
My cabbages.
I'm sorry, I totally spaced. What was that one for?
58 for studying my spell book and looking
All
over
right.
my spell components
So-
that I got.
A lot of what you're finding in this book is some really unsettling dark magic. Like, we're talking some real occulty, wow type things on the removal of certain spell components and proper preservation of organs in bipedal species is what you managed to glean from those books at this exact point. You spend maybe about 3-4 hours studying, but this is all new to you as far as what's there. These are a new type of. This is not the kind of magic you're used to seeing. Most of what you've been accessing would be illusion spells with a little smattering of this is some dark stuff. What do you expect? It came from some hags who had a copy of the Book of Vile Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And that would bring us to you, Kalora.
I will be inquiring with the ship's crew and potentially the captain if needed as to where to replace a standard buckle shield.
We'll get there on that. Well, as you go about looking for someone to speak to, Wisp, I need you to roll your first to hit, please.
America.
Papa!
19.
Plus your spell. That's with your spell attack bonus?
Yeah.
Well, that definitely hits. So after a few minutes of sitting there, while you're studying, above decks or below decks, Ronan?
Just in my quarters.
Okay, so just back to your hammock and that spell book and just kind of leaping through it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bliss, after a few, you get that first bolt loaded, and you're sitting there, and you've scanned the skies for a while, and after a little while you see what looks like a relatively decent-sized bird. Kind of like a goose.
Okay.
Well, yeah, a goose. Flying about 150 feet off the back corner of the ship, you get away from the rest of the crew with your little experiment. And you take a pop shot at it. Nail it beautifully. Kalora, you're meandering across the deck after gorging yourself and just trying to feel better with food, eating those feelings. And exactly, anger in this case. And yeah, eat that anger. And Ronan, as you're turning a page, and part of why this is all that you found out so far from that book is that it's some dark shit. You hear a loud explosion. Followed immediately by a, you'd be up on top of the decks. You watch and you see as parts, like an eyeball,
Okay.
lands right on the banister of the ship in front of you. You don't get any on you, but like the edge of the spray is right where you are.
Okay.
Because that rock, no matter what, does way more than the 2 hit points of damage that thing can take, no matter how you roll it. Well,
So
if you
you
do that, then if you don't just take that, then you might have to roll dex save, otherwise you're splattered.
Yeah, I got a 17, so yeah, that bird would have been like...
So you hear a loud bang, and Kalora, you are above deck at this point because you'd be talking to the crew who are about their business versus in their bunks. There are only about 4 or 5 people below deck with you. It's a nice, quiet place for you to study, Ronan. You are a passenger after all, so you're allowed to do what you want. Kalora and Wisp, I now need you to make a dex save or be splattered. It's your choice if you want it to hit you.
No. I cast Gust of Wind.
Roll a dex save. You can cast Gust of Wind if you want still, but you're still going to have to roll a dex save.
15?
21.
Okay. So, you managed to get your arm up just in time to only get a little bit of blood spray across where it would have hit you in the face with a little bit of a misting from the way a wing spun off from this thing. You know how it did the frisbee thing and it made it into a blood sprinkler? Yeah, exactly. And Wisp, as you watch it, it's the strangest thing, but the way that the explosion went off from your shot, 5 or 6 of the crew members mid-ship are dusted with a spattering of red off of your first bolt.
Okay.
Ronan, you watch as a tiny little poof of red mist comes in the porthole that you're using for light and just hits right next to your head on the pillow. You do not get hit. It wouldn't have at the angle you'd be at reading.
At this point, you'd probably
And
be wondering where this mist came from.
You see a beak sticking out of the side out of the wooden framing to the glass of the porthole.
No, I have an idea because I saw you make the bolts
And he
before
was
I
going
went
down this,
downstairs.
Right.
Crazy Bird and Crazy Cat are at it again.
God, this is gonna end up in PvP. I just know it again.
It's not an insult. I'm just saying you all be crazy up there. Crazy's
time
not
to go.
always a bad thing.
Now, after that first bolt comes out, the captain, like, who's taken the helm by this time in the morning just because he likes to feel important sometimes,
Alright.
comes over, pats you on the shoulder, says, "They're not very useful if you turn them into mist."
You can still drink their blood.
No, you can't.
No, at that point, unless you're jumping up and down like a 5-year-old trying to catch
Okay.
snowflakes, you're not gonna get much blood.
He did 7.5 times their hit points and damage. The beak is sticking embedded in the ship's porthole.
And as the captain looks over the edge, it's like, so, here's some rope, and he hands it to you.
Alright.
Just kind of hooks it on your shoulder because you're still holding the cross pistol.
Yeah.
You see that beak down there?
Yeah.
I'd be much obliged if you'd get your refuge the fuck out of the side of me ship.
Fair.
So
And
how,
clean up your fucking mess. That'll attract all kinds of scavengers.
so how far down is the beak?
About 15 feet off of the lip of the deck.
I'm gonna climb down without the rope and get it. I'm gonna grab it with my teeth and climb back up.
Okay, I know you get a bonus to it for being a tabaxi. I hope you have that written down somewhere because you're going to need it. I need you to make a athletics check or acrobatics because you're a tabaxi, whichever is higher.
Plus, I have my climbing gear. It's part
I'm
of
gonna
my
brace my
armor.
wings for flight.
You said acrobatics?
Correct.
Sweet Caroline. 26.
So, you go off the edge, like you just walk off, and Ronan, out the porthole while you're trying to read without any distractions.
Nothing but tabaxi dick. On the window.
Well,
I gotta squat to get the beak, man. I'm trying to pull it out with my mouth.
Anybody here seen Super Troopers 2?
Yeah.
I want to do like he does with the freaking to start cock boxing you like they do with that movie.
okay, so, first of all, I need you to roll the hit. Secondly, that might go more interesting than we think. And
I'm gonna kill him. If that cat falls off the ship because he got cock boxed, I'm going to kill Ronan.
Oh, wait, it gets better than that because in order for you to grab it with your teeth, because it's embedded in the side of the porthole like that, you'd have to slide. It's the porthole right there, so you would have to slide down until your teeth were even with the beak.
Right.
And he's about to start doing the speed bag thing at the porthole.
Well, if he starts moving, I'll stop.
no, he's sliding down this, so for as you're looking up, you're fine. Tabaxi dick, chest, face, and you're leaning forward to speed bag. Roll the hit.
And since that's an unarmed strike, would that be plus my dex?
It is actually plus your strength modifier. You'll get advantage because this is totally going to give your backstab bonus. You got flanking. He's a Panzerfold.
Well, he must see it coming because I only got an 8.
Plus your bonuses?
I rolled a 6 plus 2.
You get advantage for this.
Oh.
Yeah. Rogue. Do rogue things.
That is a 9 plus 2 and a
11.
5 plus 2.
That's
So an 11.
Okay, so you lean forward, and as you go to do so, you see Tabaxi Dick, and then you realize he's still going down. Next thing you know, the beak that's sticking out of the porthole is between his mouth as he is in his mouth as he catches it, and what you see as you're putting this into your mouth to climb back up
is Ronan getting ready to hit you, and you realize what he probably saw through that porthole as you slid down. And it's like, there's a part of you that just kind of can't blame him.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, he's hitting my armor.
And
No, I stopped myself, and you see me like this as I'm pulling back,
Oh, okay.
realizing I was about to start cockboxing.
Right.
and you and with a little bit of a wry smile on your face, you manage to spring you back up over it before he gets a chance to hit you at all.
Yeah.
Because your armor class is mostly dexterity based. So it's all about you were faster than his fists.
Yeah.
You actually see the fist finally follow through as your toes are leaving the top of the porthole and you spring back up onto the deck and see Kalora getting ready, braced to jump off the edge. Like they thought they were going to need to catch you.
Standing something like this, wings braced, just like if I needed to chase after you into the void, I would have.
I appreciate
I
that.
stick my head out the porthole and holler up, "You're lucky this time!"
Lucky you're slow.
I reversed my perch and shit downward onto the porthole.
Duh.
And then look at the captain and say, I'll go clean it in a minute.
Alright.
Damn.
Is that an attack roll?
No, because I'm aiming for the porthole.
Birdie, birdie in the sky.
Not the
drops some white
dumbass
watches
sticking
on
his
his
face
eye.
out of it.
Okay, you would have already popped your head in.
Uh-huh.
So I still need you to roll to hit at a disadvantage because it's a moving ship, wind and gravity are a thing, and you're aiming for the porthole. It has an armor class of 17.
19.
Ronan, please roll a dex save.
17 if you take away my proficiency bonus, stating that I'm not proficient with my own shit.
Right.
I don't know how proficient are you with your cloaca.
I don't use it as a fighting object very often, so I wouldn't say.
I should be
I'm willing
missing
to
my-
give up my proficiency bonus
I'm
there.
missing my white and green D20 also.
I don't know. I know the D12 is right over here. I don't
I'm
know
missing the
what D20 is.
D12 and the D20.
Well, here's the D12.
I have
The
not seen the
D20 might be on the
20.
table, or it might be inside the jail. Because I think you got mad at it.
It could have gone to there's something in the jail.
Oh yeah, there's 2 D20s that I probably put there.
Yeah, your other D20 is probably on the table, Chris. Yeah, somewhere.
There's a D20 somewhere.
Somewhere. Somewhere. It's fine.
Over the rainbow.
We know.
And this is the
it's out
dex
there
save?
somewhere.
Yes, you do get the saving throw versus just the dex bonus.
Dirty 20.
So,
Not bad.
you hear a very gaseous sound above the porthole and manage to hear the first smatterings of a white dribble hit the porthole sill, because you did hit it, and roll just as a splash lands right where you should have been. The good news is that nothing got on you. The bad news is Kalora just shit your bed.
Take flight to go down and clean up the porthole.
That's the bad part. The first part is I bloodied the fucking pillow. And then Kalora
Kalora shits
fucking
the bed.
Shits your bed. Kalora shit your bed.
I do fly down and
And then
Do you
Clean
see
up.
through the porthole at all?
Kalora is actually scrubbing the porthole. What are you using to scrub the porthole, by the way?
now I do take the step to grab a mop so that I can clean this with a distance stick.
Okay, so you see a mop off a mop head around it, and off about 3 feet from the porthole, you can see Kalora flapping and mopping.
Okay.
Come anywhere near me and I will shove it in your face.
Yeah. Revenge is a dish best served piss smelled, and I go and piss on her bed and her pillow because I haven't gone to the bathroom yet.
We're gonna fight.
She shit my bed, I'm gonna piss hers.
This will result in either death or collaboration.
It's all fun and games.
Until somebody shits the bed.
Until someone smells like piss. That was a good
That's fine. And I will play it my character. My character doesn't go to bed until nighttime, so by very likelihood stands that netted fucking hammock will be dry and your scent will be mostly absent by the time I get there.
Who says I'm done?
I don't know. He's been drinking a lot.
And who says I'm done? I might piss it every 3 hours for the rest of the day. Just so you can smell it.
Careful, Ronan.
You shit my bed.
There
And
is
I
actually
do it again.
there is actually bedding on the netted hammocks. So like
Yeah, but it's
It's going
morning.
to absorb.
it's
It'll
straw.
dry.
It's going to absorb a little bit.
I mean, at least you don't have to worry about it changing colors.
Right?
Cool. When I go down to get my pack, we'll say I smelled it and I dumped it in his bed.
I mean, I'm going to be switching beds tonight. There's plenty of hammocks, so do what you want at this point.
Switch it on, you gonna dump it in his bed and go put pee on his fucking foot.
Gotta get rid of that athlete's foot.
So round about lunchtime, Ronan, Kalora walks up to you, pops the lower piece to their scale mail, and squats on your foot. Then gets up, shakes their tail, and walks away.
I cloaca kicker.
Go for
Roll the
it.
hit.
Go for it.
I'm gonna
I fucking dare you, Mr. 40-something hit points.
Oh, you're not gonna like how this works out.
His shoe gets stuck. That'd be so fucked up.
Would that be strength or dex?
That's Dex.
13.
My AC is an 18.
You are proficient with this.
Oh, so 16.
What's your AC?
18.
18? So, you just completely miss. You don't even notice that you were kicked out.
Failed cloaca kick.
And with that,
See, this is why I don't do a lot of physical unless, you know, I'm using a magical weapon. Or, you know, magical pebbles.
What are you doing?
Adding detail to my mushroom.
so
Weasel.
as lunch moves on and you all grab your meals and move on with your day, having defecated on each other's beds and each other, the afternoon rolls in, and Wisp, you witnessed most of this, and to the best of your knowledge, I guess you're guessing that they're trying to decide who's the more dominant of the two. As they're not including you, this could mean one of two things. Either A, they recognize you as far more dominant than either of them and are not willing to try and compete with you for dominance. Or B, they do not find you to be a big enough threat to their own dominance at present. In either direction, you've had a relatively comedic afternoon of watching all kinds of miscellaneous defecation-based and water sports-based hijinks, I guess you could call it. The only regret that you have found is that you're probably going to have to smell
I
some
call
of
them
that in
shit
bed tonight
mannequins.
unless you find someplace else to sleep.
That's easy.
So as the afternoon rolls on this relatively peaceful day, you manage to take pop shots off again with the crossbow after Kalora mops up the side of the ship from your last explosion.
Well, I figured from the last one, I went ahead and I stopped doing the pot shots with my stones because the last one where the bird exploded just kind of like didn't do it for me. There was nothing fun about it at that point.
It's like, well, shit. It had 2 hit points. You hit it with 15.
17. It just
Yeah, that was like 8.5 times. I'm sorry, not 7.5. So
yeah. So I was just like I decided not to keep shooting at him with the
yeah, that's,
magic pebbles. I just put the last 2 back in my quiver with the pebbles still on them.
Yeah, you do notice that the crew themselves have just been taking shots with, like, hand crossbows at these geese. They're not even using anything major. And sometimes they have strings attached to them, so it's like the Hawaiian sling fishing, basically, in the sky.
Yeah, but the captain told me I'm not allowed to. So
Well, that's because what you were firing at them causes a mess.
well, he told me not to before I fired that. He was saying that I shouldn't. That we weren't allowed to do.
You weren't allowed to work, but you're allowed to have fun for yourselves.
Yep. We have to clean up our own messes.
Yeah, he just provides transport. You see, what happens is that he's technically responsible for your safety if you're working for him.
Yep.
And he's not down to be responsible for your safety. He's just he's just responsible for your safe transport.
Yep.
What you do while you're in your free time while you're on board his ship, well, that's your stupidity.
Right?
So,
Well, that would be overkill if I used that.
as the afternoon goes on, having discovered that that's a really good way to make an explosive crossbow bolt,
Yeah, I decided I'm going to take the last 2 crossbow bolts and I'm going to keep them instead of taking and like shooting at the birds. However, I did come up with a new plan. I'm going to take my cooking frying pan and I'm going to lash rope around the one end of it and be throwing that at the birds.
How much rope do you have?
I'm almost 150 feet.
That is a lot of rope.
Yes, it is.
You can only technically, like, full on wing that frying pan about 60 feet.
Okay.
It is possible to hit a bird within 60 feet of a ship if you're flying. I mean, it happens all the time with biplanes. So,
I just want to throw a frying pan at them so I can try to catch them. That's something random to do.
alright, so after about an hour or so of scanning the skies shortly after lunch, you find yourself. You see a flock of geese
Control it. I tried to go that way.
coming toward. You see a flock of geese just a little ways off, the closest one being about 30 feet out. And they're flapping, squawking. These ones look more standardized geese, not like the fell touch types.
Mm-hmm.
And they. I need you to go ahead and roll a hit.
Uh, 14.
Just hits. They're not that big. So go ahead, it's a 1d6 damage.
Oh, I was rolling a 4. But okay.
It's an improvised club.
4. Straight off dice, no extra proficiencies.
So as this goes flying through the air, because it's bludgeoning damage, it obviously doesn't explode it. You catch this thing right in the neck. And it bends around your frying pan and flaps and twitches and gets hung up in the rope. But it's quite dead. And now swinging below the ship.
I'm gonna pull it up onto the ship with my rope.
And as you're pulling it up,
Almost like trolling for sharks, you hear a loud clanging noise from beneath the ship.
I'm
And
right there watching this. I heard it.
the rope goes taut.
My thought.
Like something grabbed a fishing
Fish
line.
on.
Keel haul.
Okay.
Didn't catch the bottom of the ship.
I'm gonna pull harder.
I'm right there. I'm going to
Make a strength check for me.
use the help action.
Add 1d4. You roll the d4.
17. Where's
Two.
my fucking paper? 18.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 because of Calora's help.
Alright.
So you tug at it, and beneath you see something lash out from beneath the ship, and I need to find a book real quick. That thing's actually there. I wasn't expecting to go fishing on it yet.
Well, you know what? I was trying to get a bird a conventional way. I figured if I hit it with the frying pan, maybe by some luck, the frying pan would land on the ground with the bird on the top, and I could just take and put it on the fire and eat the bird. That was my goal.
Well,
But
You're gonna
no.
plug it first.
we're probably going to be eating something a little bit more interesting tonight.
I mean, it depends on your race, man. I'm a fucking cat. I don't give a fuck if it's got feathers on it or not. I'm gonna fucking eat it. Plucking is a human thing. I'm not gonna pluck its fucking feathers off to eat it. When have you ever seen a wolf or a fox pluck the feathers off of a chicken before it eats it?
When have you ever seen a wolf or a fox cook it?
Well, I was trying to be more civilized.
Yeah, early man just burned the feathers off.
Yeah. I was trying to be more civilized.
You can always make a head.
You, from beneath the ship as you're pulling, you see a flash of orange feathers and teal scales.
This sounds like it's gonna be fun. Oh no.
I'm grabbing my hatchet and my longsword. Putting my whip on my side so that I can arm it in a bonus action instead of an action. And jumping off the ship.
You feel or you're still holding on to Wisp, right?
No.
Well,
I see that flash.
you need to hold on.
Okay.
You see a flash of those feathers and scales, and you feel the tug on the pan, and it rolled a 21 on its strength check.
I'm coming off the ship anyways.
You find yourself now braced. Go ahead and make a dex save for me, please.
20.
20. You find you catch yourself able to catch right against the banister of the ship, and brace yourself just in time before you go over it. And with Calora's help action being hooked to it, that's why you're stuck here. If you let go, probably going to go off the edge. You can feel your claws straining just to hold you in here with how hard this is pulling.
Alright. Same readying my weapons.
And in the back of your head, you hear, "It's my breakfast."
Alright.
Wait a minute. I'm hearing in the back of my head it's my breakfast?
No, you hear it. You hear something that you know is not your normal thoughts in the back of your head going, "It's my breakfast."
So someone's trying to claim my food? My food?
Oh no.
My fucking food!
Apparently,
That was my frying pan and my food. No! This is not happening. No! I'm gonna cut the rope. No, I'm not gonna cut the rope. No! If I cut the rope, then I lose my food.
Are you saying this out loud? Wisp, are you ranting this out loud?
Yes, I am literally ranting this out loud.
Hold steady, Wisp,
My
and I'll
food.
go with you.
What window is this by? Do I see any of this?
You can see a rope go taut right past the porthole.
Ronan?
Actually, you would see the two of them as you were coming out from lunch because this would have been happening shortly after. See? What? No, this is my food. I'll cut the rope. No, wait, hold on.
Hold
No, I
steady,
can't run
Wiz,
away
I'll
with
go with you. See me like holding on with a leg, a wing, and an arm while trying to ready my weapons. Hold steady and we'll go together, man.
Alright, you know what? I'm tired of this thing trying to steal my food. I know what I'm gonna do.
Alright. You ready for me to let go of you?
No, I'm gonna need you to hold on to me so I can do this.
Alright. Communicate out loud, please.
Hey, hold on to me. I have an idea. I'm gonna get it off my food. It's my food.
Alright, I'm going to deliberately try to settle into the deck. Doing that, can I roll a strength check?
You want to roll a strength check?
Yep.
To
Wisp
try.
just asked me to like hunker in and hold on, so I'm gonna deliberately latch myself to him and hunker down to the deck.
Alright. Go ahead and roll strength.
11? I'm not feeling well from yesterday.
So as you hunker in, it goes taut, but then the line slacks.
Oh, god damn it.
And up from beneath the ship comes a teal-winged serpent covered in feathers. Its eyes a silver, slightly
Yeah.
silver.
I know what you're talking about.
I'll be right back.
It shakes. Hold it, having the pan. Well, the rope is sticking out of its mouth. It shakes. So the pan, as you pull and hunker in to make sure this doesn't go anywhere, the line goes slack and it comes up, having your extra tugging was more than its strength could bear, and it snaps the rope. And you watch as down a snake's throat you see what looked to be about a 30-pound goose and the outline of your frying pan goes sliding down its throat.
I say out loud, do you want me to throw you?
In the back of your head you hear, "That was fun. Thanks for breakfast." And it skitters off, and as it leaves, you notice that around your feet are all kinds of actual, like, roasted goose and hams and things of that nature.
What?
So is this thing still within my sight? Like, can I still see this thing?
Yeah, it's about 240 yards. It's quick.
So it's about how far?
240. Its full movement is 120, and it used a dash action, so it's 240 feet off.
I can't shoot you that far in a toss.
But it did just leave you a lot more food than a goose in a frying pan.
It
But it
did.
took my goddamn frying pan! Rule is you keep what you kill, damn it!
Well, it killed the rope and ate the frying pan.
Okay, so I'm just gonna take some of the food then, and I'm gonna pick up a ham hock and just start eating it. And I'm gonna be mumbling the whole time. God damn fucking bird, taking my fucking frying pan, eat my fucking duck. I caught that duck first.
And you would hear this, but you'd also notice that there's now a feast all around Wisp. Like enough to feed 4 people.
I bag up about a quarter of it, like, this is for holding you in place. You see me just like a ham and 2 birds and just walk away.
That's fine.
I finally go
I'm
up.
still mad because you took my frying pan.
Because I hear everything and I saw the rope, so I went up to figure out what was going on. And I take a quarter of it just because I can.
Hey, you doing taking my food? First they take my food, now you're gonna take my food? No!
But you can
Put it down!
No.
Put it down!
I'll put it in my belly.
Put it down!
Start eating it.
I'm not very far away!
By the way, nothing negative was going to happen on this part of the trip.
It's
Because
just
of how
like
I
it's just
feel.
that your party can barely stand each other half the time.
Can I slap him with my mage hand and tell him put it down?
Yes, but the mage hand doesn't do any damage. It's not substantial.
I know it's not supposed to do damage, it's just supposed to be like, put it down!
So I also cast Mage Hand and block it.
Well, roll the hit.
Dang, what?
Actually, I need you guys to roll initiative first at that point. Not you, you're not in on this yet.
So we're
No.
rolling initiative.
But I do know what my answer is when you ask me for it. Because I'm getting involved.
My initiative is 19.
11.
So yeah, I go first. Bam, mage hand. What?
Roll the hit.
I
You
can't
get
like
your spellcast
counter
What did
it.
you roll?
He would actually be faster on the casting than you this time.
I rolled a 14, but I'm not in the fight
I
yet.
rolled a 17 on my mage hand.
Just hits, I believe. See, I do pay attention.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't hurt. But this purplish hand made out of energy comes out and to the side of your face as you're going to go raise your own to block. And yours is actually up and in place just in time to miss the block.
It's like one of those hardcore high fives. Whack!
It's more like
Right?
up, down, up, bing. Burgers.
That's great.
Right? Up high, down low, too slow.
Side swiped.
Right?
Oh.
And with that, the sun actually starts setting, and you start seeing the view as this winged serpent floats off. You start seeing stars as the day goes uneventful, really.
By the way, I'll take his Mage Hand slap for some free food.
Okay.
That's what I wasn't saying. It's like, I'll take that slap. It's not going to do any damage.
Right.
I'll take a slap
Right.
for some free food. Like, fuck. I'm a food
Wisp
whore.
was gonna give up that easy?
I'm
You
a food
lucky
No,
it's
whore.
still
Wisp
my
wasn't
turn.
going to give up that easily.
Alright,
It's
well,
just-
keep going.
It's just the DM changed.
Alright, then keep going.
It's
Okay,
Ronan's turn.
alright. Because, yeah, that does no damage.
That was my warning shot.
I don't have my phone on me.
Okay.
It is 6:17.
Yep.
Alright.
I don't want to hit directly because that might hurt.
So as your mage hand goes out, he just looks at you, takes another solid bite, and then whatever's about to happen is what's going to happen.
Alright, I'm waiting.
I'm looking. Calm your titties.
But you took my food. You didn't even ask for it. You just came over in broad daylight and took my food.
At least he was blatant about it.
As I was just bitching at the bird for taking my food.
Loudly.
Not even this bird.
Right? I didn't bitch at you for taking my food. Because you
I-
helped me.
I gave you a reason.
Right?
This is for holding your ass in place.
Right? You helped me. You don't keep me from falling off the edge whenever the bird was trying to take my frying pan. Son of a bitch.
So when it says the spell's damage increases by 1d10 when you reach 5th level, is that spellcasting level or experience level?
Spellcasting, I believe.
For which one?
This spell.
It says, if I wanted to do the spell, it says the damage increases when you reach 5th level. Is that experience level, like I'm at level 7, or is that spellcasting level?
It's actually experience level.
Okay.
So I could cast it at 5th level.
You would cast it as a 5th level caster, yes.
Yeah.
Because you're 5 levels of Arcane Trickster.
So it has a range of 120 feet, but I want to cast Firebolt. I don't want to hit him directly, but I want to hit next to him just to prove that I'm not backing down.
Okay. Roll to hit. On a crit fail, you're going to catch it in the mush. By the way, what were you up against? Like a mast or just leaning against the railing?
We were pushed against the side of the ship, and then whenever it came up, we were
like,
up against.
when you sat down to eat.
Oh, when I sat down to eat, I was still standing. I was like standing, like up against the cabin.
Alright, so you're basically all your food sitting there on the deck and you're just kind of like mowing.
Yeah, but most of my food got picked up by Kalora.
No, a quarter of it.
You
Yeah,
got
I like-
enough for 4 people, so
I
she
took-
took 25%, which is enough for 1 person, which
Yeah.
is what I took.
Yeah,
Yeah, like rations for a day.
I got you.
So, I
Roll
just
to
need
hit, what's your AC?
I'll tell you when you get it.
You do get your spellcasting bonus for this one.
And then that's also, don't I get a, would that be an intelligence bonus also?
No, it's just your spell cast.
Spell attack bonus.
Yeah, spell plus the bonus, the dice.
It's
And that goes against your spell save DC, right? Since
Yeah.
it's a
no,
spell.
it's a spell attack.
Yes, my spell attack bonus with this would go against his spell save DC, right? No?
No,
This
it goes
gets his
against
armor
AC.
class.
14. I know it's gonna miss.
Yeah, either way, you wouldn't have got me with the spell save DC or my AC.
Okay, so it's a little closer than what he would have aimed for. I still need you to roll for damage, though.
Which should be 2d10.
Aiming for the what's next to his head on a wooden ship.
Like dodge out the way like a ninja. Try to catch it with my chicken or my ham hock.
Apparently, West can't have his bird.
Right?
A 0
I
would be
can't
10, right?
Say what?
0 would be 10, right? On
Correct.
a d10. So 17. Because I got a 10 and a 7 on 2d10.
So the crate directly behind you and close enough that your ear to, because it was aiming to miss you,
Yeah.
and close enough to your fur that you get lightly singed as it goes by, no damage.
Okay.
Bursts into flames as Ronan flings a firebolt past you at that close of a distance.
Yeah.
And now a stack of crates with unknown to you all contents.
I'll tell the captain, don't worry, I'll pay for it.
But you will.
What?
Bet your ass you will.
He says, "Don't worry, you'll pay for it." Well, the captain is kind of backing away from where Wisp is standing.
And the flames are climbing higher.
Well, if I see the cabin backing away, I'm obviously gonna know there's something bad about to happen. Is there any way I can cast my snowball, which is basically like the cold freezing, and try to see if I can like freeze the fire to put the fire out?
I will let you roll to hit for that, and I'm going to say that it's got a much higher difficulty because of the what's going on, but go ahead and roll to hit and I'll let you know if you make it.
25.
Alright. So, as you see the captain backing away, you turn, look over, and notice that right in, you've got a large crate, a smaller crate, and it leaves this little, like, almost shelf space.
Yeah.
And you see a barrel about this tall with
Alright.
3 X's on it there. And as the flames just start to touch it, you hear a weird sizzling sound. You go, oh shit, and cast your spell.
Okay.
And it puts it all out right before the 20-pound powder store that was right next to you goes off. The explosion itself is encased in the ice
Okay.
very heavily and cracks it. And you see it crumple to the ground as a pile of very sulfurous smelling smoke wafts across the deck, and everybody is reduced to visibility as if in a wall of fog spell. Good news, nobody got hurt. Bad news, y'all can't see shit for about the next 2 minutes until the ship stops having it linger and separate from its concentrated space.
So are we able to breathe in this shit, or is it toxic?
Oh, you can breathe in it. It just smells like rotten eggs and makes you want to cough, and
At least
like gunpowder smell.
At least you didn't blow the ship up.
Hey, at least I made a point, and you can't see me no more. So I'm gonna go into stealth to kind of sneak around.
Go ahead and roll your stealth check.
At a disadvantage because your visibility's fucked too. This isn't dark vision. This is an obscuring mist of sorts.
I'm flying up to the mainstay and perching.
So disadvantage.
Yes. Because you're trying not to trip while you make yourself stealth. Apparently you smell good.
I always smell good.
11.
Not your pot.
Apparently that pot smells good, and that's what she's
11. That's my
11?
disadvantage. I rolled a 4 and an 11 plus 7, so I had an 18.
The
and
disadvantage is because you're in a very thick fog and can't see what's on the deck. So you can hear, you actually stub your toe a few times, clash and clatter, and are able to get your sneaking around is not working out the way you found it. It's really actually hard to see in this. It's like 3 times the density of fire season. So, that being the case, and with combat out, that brings us to Monsignor Wisp.
Well, since we can't see, and everything on here smells like fucking ass.
Yeah, corned beef, cabbage, potatoes, and boiled eggs ass.
I think I'm going to do the smart thing. Oh shit! I forgot I had that. I am going to. Wait, do I actually still have that? Right. Not put that one down.
And after this action, we're going to step out for a bio break because we could keep this going for a hot minute since y'all are at each other's throats.
So given this current state of what's going on, I'm going to do deep breath,
Okay.
which is one of my cantrips, not a spell, and I hardly ever use it.
But it has use.
Oh yeah.
It makes it so you have about 10 minutes worth of breath. You have
Yep.
10 minutes worth of breath when you cast the spell.
Yep.
And for that following 10 minutes, you do not need to breathe. It gives you 10 minutes of function time or the equivalent to like 60 rounds.
Yep. So I'm gonna cast deep breath.
Alright, you're good. You don't have to breathe anymore.
All right. Do I need to roll for it or?
No, it's a thing that you're a willing target.
Okay.
Just keep in mind that you've got 10 minutes until you run out.
Yeah.
But you've managed to safely make it so that you don't have to worry about it, even though you can't see shit.
But since I casted that, I'm gonna wander for like the nearest like solid surface that I can possibly try to climb up.
Alright, well, then I'm going to need to have you make a perception check at disadvantage to try and perceive where a mast is that you can climb. See, everybody's screwed from this shit.
What am I using to climb?
Anything you can find.
No, I meant as in like my stats and shit. What am I using?
Dexterity, or it would
That'd be
technically be
acrobatic.
acrobatics at disadvantage.
All right, so I would have a 14.
You fumble around for a while, stub your toe, and take 1 point of damage.
Alright.
But eventually do find the mast and be able to climb up above this cloud that seems to be emanating from where you would cast your spell. Kind of like a smoke bomb. It's going to keep doing that for about 5 minutes. You hear and see shifting in the smoke roughly where Ronan should be. And on that note, Kalora, you being able to watch this all from far above, we are going to take our bio break so everybody can step out for a cigarette, as you are all avidly trying to kill each other, thus saving me, the GM, the problem of doing so.
Can you pass me one of the buglers? Thank you.
So we will be back in a little bit, and thank you as always for joining us, and we will see you soon. We are back. In out. Well, we're not in outer space today.
Dang. We'll stop recording.
So, the smoke screen setting itself everywhere. Wisp, you do make your way out of there after stubbing your toe and actually taking damage because, well, you stubbed it pretty good. But you made it through with relatively nothing else. Just you never had that point where you know you did some actual damage when you jammed your foot on the corner or something? You misjudged and put your toe right through it, right onto a belaying, and then it could have been funny.
Okay.
Aside from that, as for the next 10 minutes or so, a trail of gunpowder smoke goes off the side, and you hear the captain muddled and cussing and damned if I'll ever take passengers again. We come, I believe that goes around to Ronan. What you doing in your cloud of gunpowder that you've created? Well, gunpowder smoke anyway. It did explode.
Sulfur is good.
So I just try to get out of the smoke, climbing up, going to the left, going to the right, going somewhere just to get out of the smoke.
After a few minutes, it starts clearing and you make your way out of it, lungs full of blackened as you come out. As you do not know how to hold your breath like that. Kalora is at the top of the mast, and Wisp is sitting on the boom to the mainsail. And they're both just kind of looking down, watching the whole thing. As you kind of roll out of the smoke finally and are staring up at the sky.
Well,
And as you all look down, you see Ronan laying flat, sprawled out, and a little puff of smoke comes out of his mouth.
well, that's not what I wanted to smoke, and that didn't go as planned. Oh well, shit happens.
Shit could have gone real sideways there. I mean, it's a wooden ship and you're flinging fire around.
I considered it, but when you're a rogue, you don't give a shit.
Maybe.
Consider it to be rogue.
Alright. And with that, we get to Kalora. So what are you doing from your high perch where you can see all of this go down?
Perching and observing. I haven't decided it's safe to come down yet.
Day goes on to afternoon, evening. You all muddle about the decks. It's a relatively soft day. There's a meal in the evening. Does anybody want to do anything or take watch tonight?
I'll take watch.
I was going to in payment of me almost blowing up the ship.
Alright, so we're going to actually have a watch rotation tonight then?
I'll take all watch if they want to sleep. I mean, it's the least I can do.
You gotta sleep sometime.
Right about that.
At full hit points.
You have to sleep though or you take exhaustion. I mean, how long can you go without sleep before you're a zombie?
I am a changeling, so I'm not quite human.
Yes, but even fairies sleep. Quite often if they can manage it. Feyfolk like naps. Even if you don't need to sleep, sometimes napping's nice. Alright. So, as that is in and about and of itself, who's taking the first watch?
Yes, I will.
Alright. Go ahead and roll a D percentile for me. All zeros is 100.
31.
So other than a cold bite to the air, as the sun sets, you find yourself needing blankets, nearing a set of, you see mountains that were in the distance this morning finally coming up just on the bow as the ship starts taking more altitude. The air gets colder as you finish your watch. There's no real incident. So, who goes second? Alright, so it would be your job to go and wake up Kalora. It was a nice cold evening, brisk. There's a full moon. All three of them.
Laura,
They
get
kind
up.
of
It's your
equipped you like a
turn.
bullseye tonight.
Nothing.
Oh, this bloody bird. I go and grab a bucket of water.
On ship, nobody's gonna say a damn thing. They sit like one of the as you're going up to go grab a bucket, and you go to get like you're going to get something. One of the captains, what's going on?
Just getting a bucket of water.
Oh, what you need a bucket for?
Water.
No, what do you need a bucket of water for?
Wake up a bird.
Oh, there's an easier way.
Oh, well, I'll try a couple of the easy ways, but if those don't work, then the birds get in the bucket.
Watch this. I can get your bird for you. Cost you 2 coppers, but I'll do it. Besides, the captain will pay me 7 silvers if I keep you from putting more holes in his ship.
I give him a silver piece and be like, here you go, just do what you can.
Goes into his pocket, pulls out a very, very strong smelling piece of salmon jerky. And once watch this, sneaks up and your passive perception's a 13.
13.
right? He sneaks up on you without you smelling it until it's right over your nostrils, and he just taps you on the metal part of your beak so you don't really feel it, but you hear a ding almost like a dinner bell. As you yawn, Kit stuffs it in your mouth and runs away.
Smart move!
I'll walk in and be like, you're lucky. I was going to use this.
I throw my hand axe at him.
Roll the hit.
That's not what you say within 30 seconds of waking up.
I tried.
18 plus...
Oh,
I want to know how well I did you. 18 plus 8 is 26.
6.
6. A definite hits. Roll for damage.
D6 plus 5. 8.
There's now a hand axe firmly embedded right about here in your collarbone, Ronan.
I've had enough of the shenanigans.
I yank it out and be like, cool. New weapon, and I attach it to my back.
That's fine. I'll get it from you out of your hide.
By the way, subtract said hand axe from your gear for now until you loot it.
Yeah, I draw my whip
So do I add it to mine for now?
Yeah.
and crack it.
As you go to draw your whip, the same cabin boy grabs you by the arm. Captain will have my hide, and he done paid me 1 silver to keep there from being bullshit.
And what do you think the captain would do if he were to find you in my bunk tied up so you couldn't prevent it? Think he'd leave you alone?
He'd kill you.
Well, I promise I won't be leaving holes in the ship.
Well, you can stop putting holes and blood all over what I got to scrub in the morning too, if you don't mind.
I
I'll
don't-
give you a whole silver piece if you just fuck off about it.
I don't need a silver piece, but I will. How about I'll offer you this? You run off and go to bed, and I'll clean up any mess I make.
No, you're gonna wake the crew. I'm on watch for us to make sure they get a good night's sleep. Now quit fucking around and go to your own watch.
Catch you in the morning, slick.
You notice as the kid says quit fucking around and go do your own watch, it's almost like their entire form twitches a little bit, their voice drops, and the veins in their neck bulge with what you'd swear was necrotic energy.
I'm gonna kill Roman. I'm gonna kill Roman. After my watch.
No more messes in my hold. You shit his bed.
Everyone's taking that shit. That is cool.
And he pissed yours. And if I have to clean up one more piss of shit soaked anything that looks like a bird or some sort of fey thing done it, I know what I'm eating for dinner the rest of the trip.
Well, then I'll promise you this. I'll engage in no more feces-related combat.
Engaging them with fucking combat with anything that's supposed to be on this ship.
I'm not entirely convinced that face shit should be on this ship. He abandoned the whole fleet of refugees he was supposed to be taking care of.
Didn't abandon them. He needed help. Fucking fuck you. You would have died if I didn't go through that goddamn portal with you.
I would have been just fine if you didn't get on this ship with me after we had to put you down twice, 3 times. The only reason you're on this ship is because Ishkabib will drop your unconscious ass on deck.
No, it's because Ishkabibble pushed him back through the portal.
Counterspelled you.
Yeah.
No.
He is a rotten thorn in everyone who tries to get anywhere near his side.
This, what you now recognize isn't a kid of a cabin boy, but is actually just a very young-looking halfling.
Mm-hmm.
Reaches out, grabs your arm, squeezes, and you hear the scale mail fuse as it is tensed around your wrist, and the bones start creaking. Drop it on board. Don't care what you do once we land and depart, but till then, stop fucking around. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
You'll let go of me or I'll see you off the ship with him.
Be polite or I'll take the arm with me. As he says this, you feel the grip tighten, and it feels like the bone's about to snap, and they don't even seem to be breaking a sweat or trying.
I'll make you no promises. I'm going to go do my watch.
As you're going, and he lets go, and as you turn to leave, he yoinks one of the feathers out. He's like, always wanted one of these for a quilt, and walks off.
That's fine. After they were stained with the ash of my loved ones, I stopped really giving a shit if people yoinked feathers out of my ass.
I took one of your primaries.
I'll be okay. Most eagles can lose 4 or 5.
And as it's walking, as this halfling is walking away, they look at you, Ronan, and say, "Now, off to bed. You'll get a good night's sleep, and if they try to fuck with you until we land, they're my problem. Captain's orders." And what's your passive perception?
11?
So they would actually be, well, I don't know, I'd have to roll sweat. They're trying to keep it down, but they not 20 that stealth check. So they managed to whisper this just loud enough that you all can hear it, but whisper, for some reason, it just does not resonate in your head.
Well, that makes sense because I'm not really around them.
No, you'd be up asleep on the...
Mm-hmm.
mass. And you also don't hear Calora rattling to the top of the deck. So you have the next 6 hours of watch.
Alright. D percentile?
What are you doing for that? Yeah, go ahead and roll D percentile.
That's a straight 50.
Straight 50. Things start getting weird round about the 11th hour of night. Just before the end of your watch. You notice frost starts forming along the prow of the ship. And while nothing aggressive occurs, you're not sure if there's a sparkle to the air. And you'd almost swear that the frost takes form and starts dancing along the banisters. Like little humanoid-ish shapes made out of frost crystals. They're still pointy and spiky, like they're fuzzed or have too much static. But little animals, almost like entire wilderness scenes and stories play out like watching Little House on the Prairie in frost.
I enjoy the show.
You're not sure if it's real or not. A couple times you reach out to poke it and it just kind of...
I just enjoy the show. Go get Wisp right about on time.
So... Go ahead and roll a strength check, because if you're just going to sit there and watch the show, I need you to.
14?
As you go to stand up, you notice that the moisture in the air has crystallized you in a minor encasement from about the knee up from where you were basically just kind of kneeling, mesmerized by this.
Mm-hmm.
And you are frozen to the deck.
Oh, I guess I'm sitting here for a bit.
Go ahead and roll another strength check.
Alright.
Trying to get loose.
9?
No.
No, I was saying I guess I'm just gonna sit here for a bit.
So,
I give it a good pull, realize I'm frozen to it, and just go.
okay. So, you sit there for a while and you notice the ice starts creeping up the sides of your legs and up towards, it gets about halfway up your knee at this point. It's like you can come up from a kneeling position. When you try to come up from a kneeling position, you also notice that at the same height your heels are first to your butt.
I can wait.
Wisp is sawing logs through this.
I'm good to sit and watch for a little while longer.
Go ahead and roll a constitution check. As the ice comes up over top your lap. Are you number one? Wrong finger. This is why I'm saying wrong finger, because I totally have the bird coming off on this one. So, your toes go numb. As you look down, where there once was yellow flesh, you notice the tips of them are starting to turn as black as your talons from frostbite. Your primary feathers are now frozen around where your heels were. And these little things are dancing on your legs.
Are you intelligent?
Nothing.
Alright. I'm a strength check to get up.
Alright. Yeah, go ahead.
No.
It's a strength saving throw, you know that, right?
Oh, strength saving throw. Okay. 15?
And the ice cracks, and you rip out a few feathers. You should be used to that by now. I've been plucking this bird for months.
Yeah.
I've
got several makeshift nice plastic flight feathers already. Or plasticine, because we don't really have plastic in this era.
Yeah. So you crack and get up, and you wake up late for what you expected your watch to be. You can tell by where the moons are in the sky. To the sound of ice cracking and the yelp of Calora as approximately 20 feathers are ripped free as they pull themselves from where they've been somehow frozen to the deck. Everything for about 10 feet around them is ice, and you can't see what caused it.
Well, I'm gonna take and put on my frost newt onesie, like my frost newt armor,
Yeah.
with the gloves and everything. So I'm gonna put that on, and then I'm going to kind of like drop out of the area where I'm sleeping and go check on Calora.
So you see Wisp wearing completely different armor, stuff that you would recognize having come from that blacksmith.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks over and
Are you okay? Where'd all this frost come from?
Little fucking shites. I'm going to bed.
Alright. Sleep well.
you see nothing, just
Yeah.
ice, and you're not sure why.
I'm going to bed. I'm not even going to try to explain. Oh! Tomorrow I'm throwing Ronan off the ship and killing him in free air.
I'm just gonna kind of like take it with a grain of salt and be like, okay, have a good night.
I won't fight him on the ship.
The struggle to get him off the ship would be considered fighting him on the ship.
Not if I catch him with a lasso and run away! Whoosh!
Okay, here's how we will determine whether or not it is fighting. Did you have to roll to hit? If the answer is yes, it is fighting.
And everything would be a roll to hit because I'm an unwilling participant.
Unless it's a booby trap.
They better be some nice boobies.
Right?
I mean, you could always take a booby trap and tie one side of the ballista and the other side to like a loop on the ground and have you just walk into the loop and off you go.
I'd still be able to fight it, grab onto something, resist
Yeah,
it.
but it has nothing to do with you being willing or not.
He'd get a dexterity saving throw,
Yeah.
and they'd have to roll to hit to see if they timed it right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And if it's a roll to hit, then it's considered fighting on the ship.
True. You can just pick him up. Pick him up, you're not fighting.
He struggles they are.
And I'm an unwilling participant. Of course I would have struggled.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna do what I can to get you off the ship. We gonna fight. We get to Kastara and you're still on the ship. We gonna fight.
I can see it now. Calora's just gonna like sneak up behind you at some point, put a rag up to your face. Is that chloroform you smell? Why, yes, it is.
Actually, I think that'd be the other way around. That'd be more the roguish thing to do.
Right?
What's funny is I took a level in Barbarian and have not yet popped a rage.
Right.
Yeah, but rage doesn't negate backstab. Oh wait, no, it does have backstab,
Piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning.
but not poison.
No. Piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning.
Yeah. So,
Oh, good.
as you head down to your bunk, you see Ronan quite well asleep in his own. And you see the same cabin boy leaning on a undercarriage post between your bed and everybody else's bed and the bunk that Ronan has taken, which apparently is a hammock all off to itself at this point because nobody else is near it. And he's just got this faint purple glow behind his eyes as we go to Wisp's watch as that moves on with the evening and into the following day.
Doesn't Wisp
So-
need to roll the D percentile?
Yep,
too?
I need you to go ahead and roll a percentile to see if anything happens. If I roll it, it's mean. If you do it, it's fate. I only roll if you roll a dead 50. Because I call out a 50-50 chance.
Thank you anyway.
What'd you roll?
37.
Still above.
So, other than a few strange glowing lights up along the mountaintops, you would recognize them to be will-o'-the-wisps.
Okay.
Completely harmless as far out as you are. You can see them glowing along the mountain ridges, almost as if there were a colony of them living there.
Okay.
Unusually large amount of these creatures would be an interesting way to put it. You also you notice that you're passing a castle that seems to be very strange. Half of it, the stones and the mortars are almost a pearl purplish, and the cracks and the land itself, this place looks like it's right on the border where the where the Feylands and the Shadelands touch. So much like Nox itself, the building itself is a 50-50. Like they built it out of plain gray wasteland granite, and it just kind of absorbed both sides. So one side has like little branches growing out of the mortar. The other side has decrepit things oozing out of the mortar.
Decrepit things using
And this
out
is
of
like
it?
a relatively large castle. Like think actual pictures of the real castle Dracula, only 3 times the size plus rose red. Just kind of woven in through the mountaintops as you fly by. It's about 300 feet off. And you see what looks like chrome figurines tending the gardens and doing all sorts of other things, including pruning trees in the moonlight.
All I can think of is Rose Red. That movie with the big red house. That's haunted.
Yeah. That plus the actual Castle Dracula is what this would be built like.
Adam's Family style shit.
With automated stop. I have metal things.
Automated
It's a
one.
little bit of good fun.
And so it looks like there are chrome people in the distance you can just barely make out as the sun starts to rise, like the brass of their heads shines. I'm going to throw dice at both of you.
But we're paying attention while
I'm listening to what you're saying.
Yes, but you're distracting the fuck out of me.
How am I distracting you?
I moved my hand. That was good.
Your cousin eating it, it's just... So, or the thinging it, but either way, the sun rises and you hear the ship's bells start to ring. And Ronan, as you wake to the ship's bell, you know that your watch is now very much over as the sun's fully risen and you can smell the cook fires starting. Ronan, you see a halfling just kind of take a breath, go, right then, off to bed with me, and
Sounds dirty.
walks up the stairs and onto the top deck, and then you would see that same halfling who you've heard reading Kalora the Riot Act to some lesser degree go into the captain's quarters. The captain comes out about 10 minutes later, and they don't come out the rest of the day.
Okay. So, out of character, just for the record, they warned you two not to do anything. They didn't say shit to me.
You haven't given them a reason to yet.
Yeah.
And they're just the night watch.
Night watch fever. Sorry.
Way too much bad anime, man.
There's way too many trichomes in the air.
It was me. So, with the third day of your journey starting, that would bring us to you, Wisp, at the breakfast hour. What are you doing with day 2?
3.
Or 3 of the trip?
Well, since my frying pan's gone, right, I'm probably gonna eat some of the food that the bird left behind that was like laying by my feet. I figured I'll probably eat something from that. But I figured I'll take and I'll cook it in a pot over a fire. Well, no, I can't do a fire. Never mind. Fuck it. I'm just gonna eat that.
Alright. So you
Just
just gonna
kinda-
basically chill and have a picnic on the deck all day or something?
Well, I'm gonna do that, and I'm just gonna kind of like glare over at Ronan for like stealing my food and almost blowing us up.
Yeah, apparently throughout the day, Wisp just sits there picnicking and stuffing his face with the remainder of the food and glaring at you every time you go by, Ronan.
Got a problem? Shit.
You know I do. You almost blew the ship up.
You attacked me. I had to defend myself.
I didn't attack you. You stole my food. I said no. You didn't listen, and I slapped you with a mage hand. Did it do any damage? No. Shut the fuck up, you whiny little bitch.
It's still an attack.
It was not an attack. It didn't even do damage.
But like, because it was mage hand, just because mine actually did doesn't mean shit.
Your mage hand missed.
I didn't use mage hand. I used firebolt.
Well, your fireball still, tried to blow up the ship. You shouldn't use magic if you don't know how.
You hear one of the crew go, "Oh, it kind of looked like he knew how to use it. Didn't think through the wooden ship part."
Exactly. He doesn't know how.
How to what? Think it through, or
With
set
great
it on
magic
fire?
comes great responsibility and greater consequences.
Agreed.
Well, what kind of consequences can you have happen?
Quite a few. I could literally kill all of us on this ship.
Well, I don't know if you could kill the captain. That would take a really big bomb. I saw him take a fireball to the chest this one time. He was pissed off. Didn't grow fur in about 6 places for about 3 moon cycles.
I'm pretty sure if I destroy this ship, we would all fall to our deaths.
The captain might live. The rest of us are fucked. But he might live.
Well, at least I know I can destroy the ship so that I can keep a part of my word. You
We're
asked
not
what I
really
could
sure
do,
if the captain would live or not. He'd have to roll the same damage as everybody else.
Right? You
But-
asked what I could do. I said I could destroy the ship.
Alright, well, don't do that. I've got a wife and kids at home.
I've got food on here. I'm not going to destroy it.
Well, you'll eat the food by the end of the day. Right, you're going maybe by the end of the hour.
Maybe.
And then what? Then the ship's useless to you because it ain't got food on it. So you destroy it then, and then I don't get to see me wife and kids. I'll never be able to shoot every man that tries to sleep with me daughter.
And how old's your daughter?
Too young for you.
Well, if you're really worried about somebody destroying the ship, you should talk to Ronan.
Oh no, the Night Watch talked to him last night. You all are under very, very strict instructions. There will be no infighting among you on our ship in lieu of safety precautions for the crew. Should a fight ensue, we are to keelhaul the lot of you after magically reinforcing the hull to keep you from blowing holes in it. And then use you for dragon bait.
I'm sorry, what language did you speak in? I'm not sure if I understood you.
The captain has ordered the crew to use you for dragon bait if you start a fight.
If I start a fight with who?
Anyone, a member of the crew, or your infighting bullshit. Damn near sank us all with the antagonizing in the cramp yesterday.
What about if I start a fight with myself? Then what?
Well, then we'll happily encourage you to load yourself into a mangonel and launch yourself that way.
You know, if you load the fucking... I'm not here yet. Never mind. Load the fucking changeling into the mangonel, then get rid of the problem. But I'm not here, so that was not in character.
Well, I'm allowed to fight with myself. Last time I checked, it's okay.
Not if you damage the ship.
I wouldn't damage the ship.
Well then, you can beat the shit out of yourself all you want for all I care. Just make sure you get a couple good licks in for me while you're at it.
Domestics count?
No.
Okay. I've got something to beat later.
If the cabin boys have to clean bedding up, there may be problems.
You said anything about betting?
Any untold of messes of a bodily function.
Do you think that the air that you're breathing this morning is free of my salt? No, it is not. We are on our boat. It's not the boat that's only filled with semen.
Right, so we'll burn your bedding when you leave.
Nope.
And anything else that's got a hole in it on the... Oh god, you were on the mainsail. That's going to be expensive. We'll never get the stains out. The captain never hear the end of it at the fucking Freemasons, or at the Free Captain's Guild.
They know me. It's understandable.
They'll be calling him Captain Stainsails for years if I don't get... Oh.
Captain Skeets.
None of that! From behind you, you hear a very familiar gnomish voice go, Captain what?
He said stains. I just said skeet.
And why would we be discussing Captain any of that?
I don't know, you ask him. I was just talking to myself. He was just trying to listen.
Were you talking to yourself about your plans?
Maybe. I was also talking to my pet.
Oh, yeah, the bug.
No, I was talking about Cheddar. My mouse.
You have a mouse?
Yeah.
In your
Doesn't
pocket?
everybody have a mouse?
No.
Yeah, there's a mouse in my pocket.
Oh. Well, guess I lost that bet.
What was the bet?
Oh. A couple of the crewmen, they thought that was your dick in your pocket, not a mouse, and that you were just happy to see them.
Not the mouse.
Well, that
Depends on the
explains
pocket. Talking about top pockets or the bottom pockets?
the bottom pocket.
The bottom pocket is definitely my dick.
Well, that's disappointing for them. I told them
But to be
like
fair,
that.
it's always exciting.
I suppose it's around its ilk all the time. Seeing your friends.
Yeah.
Dicks Incorporated, your group.
Yeah.
No wonder you're not dead yet.
No, I'm good.
No, I mean the lot of you.
Why?
You really work well in a fight together.
Yeah, actually we do work really well to fight together.
Oh, I guess we did kind of see it.
We
but-
may fight on the regular, but we have some uncanny teamwork.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So, just to be clear, you're not allowed to kill each other or do anything untoward towards each other while you're on board.
What do you mean by untold?
Nothing that be considered harassment, bullying, bullshit, fuckery most foul, or something that you would want your mother done to your mother.
What about shenanigans?
Or tomfoolery, or any of that. In other words, if you can see Ishkabibble bitching about it, don't do it.
So practical jokes are out.
Depends on if they involve your own self and a whoopee cushion.
What's a poopy cushion? I mean whoopee cushion.
Well, same as a poopy cushion, only not filled.
But wouldn't a whoopee cushion have to be filled with something to make it go whoopee?
Air.
But it's still filled.
Yeah, but it's better filling it with poopy like you were talking about.
Yeah, but you can fill it with pee.
No bodily excrement shall be flung in any way, shape, or form upon this ship.
What
At
about
least I
if you,
cleaned mine up.
what about if you fill it with? What about if you fill it with rice?
About this time,
Gunpowder?
the captain peels off his gnome suit, and you find yourself standing in front of about an 11-foot tall werebear who just looks down at you and says, "Don't fuck with my ship."
Cheese? What about cheese?
Tracy.
My AC? 17.
He reaches down, swipes, grabs you by the ankle, hangs you upside down, and looks at you. Just have a relaxed voyage. And then he proceeds to carry you over and drop you face first into a keg of ale.
I'm gonna start drinking instead of I was gonna go, hellish rebuke, but he dropped me an ale, so I was thirsty.
Not anymore.
Thirsty and alcohol, it kinda means drink.
You all would see
I'd
the
be like,
captain.
thank you,
do that.
Captain!
It echoes out of the barrel. And yes, you would have seen this part. I mean, you don't miss a gnome turning into an 11-foot tall werebear.
This is my ale, the captain gave it to me.
I'll hold up a jar of honey. And say, now who's a good boy?
What's your armor class, Kalora?
18.
Of course.
You are some fucked players. I'm just saying. Like, wow. We've got problems.
Who's a good boy?
To werebear.
Uh-huh. It's good honey. It's nothing wrong with it. It's high quality honey.
I'm gonna start making bubbles in my ale that sound like bumblebees.
I'm not offering him shit. I heard a rumor was that when a weird creature's shape changes, that they take on some of the aspects of the creature that they take on. Maybe he took on the bear's mentality. Here's some honey, bear.
Who's a cute little honey bear?
The first one misses entire. He takes a swipe the first time and misses. The second, on the other hand, rolls a 26. And he wasn't swiping at the jar. You take 15 points of damage to the face as his claw comes across it, and you feel the flesh rip off. This is not funny. And you watch as he kind of flexes, and you see fire behind his eyes as he seems to go into a rage. I think you're biting off more than you can chew, bird.
Bad bear, no honey. Turn to walk away.
Thus putting yourself in a flanked position because he...
I didn't retaliate. I did not draw my weapon. But I, bad bear, no honey, and walk away.
looks
I
over...
had 6 weapons on me. I could have retaliated. I could have popped a rage.
Yeah, you're right, you could have. Are any of them magical?
No.
Yeah, you're right, you can swing with those all day. Every day.
Mine
For the
are-
next 900 years. And he's just gonna look at you like you're stupid.
Three of
As
mine are-
you watch this interaction with Kalora and then get clocked, because you all would have definitely seen this. You hear the captain look around, clearly angry. Does anybody else feel like being cheeky?
Well, I am head first in a barrel of beer. So I think at this point in time, I'm
The
probably gonna
cheekiness
like,
rises.
probably gonna like take and lift my head up for a second and just belch like the biggest drunk ever. And that's only because I am drunk as shit at this point, so it's gonna be like
Anyone else?
and then I'm gonna dip my head back in the beer. I got put in a barrel of ale, of course I'm gonna try and drink it.
You wanted something that'll kill a big dumb bird. That'll kill a big dumb bird.
Uh-huh. And Kalora is actively considering her options at the moment.
She would know enough to know that she's got nothing that can hit that.
So after my big burp, I'm just gonna slump onto the
Just 'cause
ground.
air bears
There,
should be
right now.
immune to damage.
Immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks not made with silver weapons.
You're out of luck. I only have one weapon made of silver that's magical.
It has to be made of silver or magical.
Or both.
Okay.
Like you
I've
said.
wanted both.
Yeah. Has to be either silver or magical. +1 or better.
Actually, I have one that's made of both, and then I have one that's just made of silver.
So yeah, yeah.
But right now, I'm slumped over half drunk over the edge of this
Yeah,
barrel.
you'd be at like disadvantage for everything short of drinking.
Right?
She's not that stupid.
No.
She wants to be. She's tired. She's pissed off at half of her party. She's not even sure she wants to be on this adventure anymore, to be entirely sure. She wanted the dragon. That's the only reason she's coming, is because the portal to the dragon she wants to kill is here.
Among other things, yes. Alright, and Ronan, where are you at about things? As you watch the interaction with the captain and Wisp, and watch him get dropped in a barrel of ale.
I'm just standing there. I mean, there's not much I need to do or can do.
Now, he looks over at you, and obviously downward at this point, being like an 11-foot tall monstrosity. So, You're the one that decided to use fire on the ship yesterday. Good way you could repay the damage a bit.
How much?
Pulls out. Oh, no. Pulls out a sanding block and rough grit sandpaper. All that front rail that got scorched, the whole 10 feet of it, and the deck where those crates used to be. If you'd be so kind and gentlemanly, sir.
I'll pay you 30 gold to not have to do that, and you use one of your crew members to do it right now.
Oh no. You see, if I let you buy your way through it, rich man, you don't learn nothing. On the other hand, if I tell you you've got option A and option B, either option A, you sand the rail and the deck this
you think
afternoon.
I'm just some rich man? You don't know my past. That's all I'm saying.
All I know is that you're trying to buy your way out of your punishment. It's my ship. And here's your sanding block.
I didn't have to be told to grab the mop when I shit on the outside of the deck.
Do you actually say this in character?
Yes.
You're right, you didn't. You just have to learn not to be so bloody cheeky. Now, the only payment that I will accept is the god's good hard labor. So, here's your sanding block, sir. Here's your extra paper. And if any one of you lot lets him pay you to do the work, I'll strip your hides and use you for a new coat.
I joined Wisp for the picnic and add my lot to the pile.
Hell yes.
Here you go, lad. Get to sanding. I'll make sure your brain brought a good solid 4 squares of meal. It's hard work. I don't believe in lazy labor.
And nobody's going to complain about you feeding him. He should be fed. The debate is whether it's at my table.
Where you're eating in the middle of the deck, there's no real table.
Yeah.
The one thing that could have been used as a table is blown up with a firebolt.
Great.
So, Mr. Ronan, I look forward to seeing my newly sanded deck in a few hours. I'm going to go consult the charts and make sure I get you all landed in Kastara perhaps a little early. I don't think she can take much more of this. And I'm 10 crystals down now. Just starting to list a little bit on the side. Gotta get better shielding for those. But wait, that's right. Shielding's for things coming in from outside, not from things going boom on the inside. Alright then. To your chores.
I'm just sitting and eating.
Clean up your messes when you're done, please. I don't need the cabin boys having to whine.
Okay.
I'm running low on cheese.
Really?
This is in character. I caught that!
I'm sorry, what was that?
Should they need cheese for their wine?
If I have to deal with the cabin boys' wine, I'm going to need more cheese, and you ain't got enough.
Well, you know, if they have an issue, give them a tissue.
Would you
Nah.
prefer cheeky or angry?
He looks up at both of you. Nah. I ain't gonna give him a tissue. I'm just gonna smoke some grass and they can kiss my ass. And he goes up to the top where the helm
Tells
is.
me to be less cheeky.
Right?
While he was in the middle of being incredibly angry and having just shifted, you offered him honey. He took it as a racial joke and hit you for it.
I'm gonna ask him if
That was the equivalent in his mind of you throwing the N-word. So he hit you.
Uh-huh.
I'm
See, but
gonna,
in Kalora's mind, it was maybe this is bear brain?
I'm gonna ask him if he wants some salamander liquor.
No. I don't touch this stuff.
I figured I would offer. You said you needed something stiff.
I
No.
bet you got something stiff you could give him.
I know I do.
Looks over at you, Kalora, says, yeah, from what I hear, your mother's a stiff.
And my wife and child.
Yeah, I know.
How the fuck do you know? Sudden change in demeanor. Like full on sudden change.
You know, people do their research.
That's a hell of a lot of research to do in, the, what, 3 hours you knew me?
3 days.
Kalora stands up a lot bigger now. I've popped a rage.
Okay.
I don't trust this man.
Okay.
How'd you get the information?
I asked for it.
From who?
My connections.
Which connections?
The ones that I pay regularly.
So in other words, he's not giving any names.
My discretion is the better part of their valor.
You can feel heat seething off Kalora. This person either had something to do with the death of her partner and child, or knows the person who had something to do with the death of her partner and child.
Or has information. Or just has really good sources for research.
Toddler beating on his mother's chest, but oh my god! I unarmed strike!
Okay, go ahead and roll the hit.
I'm not trying to hurt him! Not yet!
Yeah.
Dirty 20. Roll a 12.
Uh-huh.
Probably gonna miss. Probably an AC of 20 words. Just read it.
This would be 21 or better.
Does be 20 or better. Meet or beat.
Yeah, a dirty 20 would meet it.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, it does technically hit. And go ahead and roll for damage.
That's,
You're unarmed and in a rage.
yeah, I get a +2, so that'd be a flat 10.
So as this connects, and it's a solid punch to the chest, even without unarmored, he's an 18. So it slams into his chest, and you hear the crunching sound as the bone does give way under your fist. And then you hear it crunch again as it pushes back into place. And you watch as this bear-like humanoid face twists. And he looks at you and says, "That's one. I'll give you the same I give every one of my crew when they think they're this big. You get 3 strikes and then I put you out. That's one." Then he looks at you, leans in real close, grins that bearish smile that's so distorted from having the pointed features of a gnome attached to it, and goes, "Come on,
going for strike 2? I'll make it clean for you. I won't even try.
Ooh, trying to think.
About 10 to 8.
It's about 10 to 8.
Yep.
And while you contemplate this, since it's about 10 to 8, and I've got some things going
Yeah, I'm
down.
taking swing number 2.
All right. Right as you haul back, you hear that a girl.
And that would be a 19.
That hits. He's letting you.
Uh huh.
So another flat 10.
Yep. And I shake my hand out and.
You watch the jaw dislocate, shift 6 inches. He goes, it pops back in. Not bad. Do you want your one more, or have you had enough? It's obvious it's not doing a damn thing to him.
We'll meet again, old man.
He says, aye. And
When time comes for me to find the man who did what he did to my children,
come back when you got my price.
well, those words I'm willing to hear. What's your price?
Figure it out. He turns around and walks into his cabin, and with that, we're going to stop because there are other plans and things coming for the evening, and it's
Right.
almost 8 o'clock. So, as always, thank you for joining us again tonight for this insanity. We will, as things are going, everyone will land in Kastara next week, therefore people who show up and don't, it'll still work out.
Thank you.
And beyond that, please remember, like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about our insanity as we try to kill each other, apparently, from now on. Since that seems to be the new trend. Do I just need to run a battle royale session for you all to have it out? Because we can arrange that to happen in Kastara.
Kalora's gonna kill fucking Ronan or get her hand axe back. Especially after that gunpowder situation. She is all the way. Full send.
I'd say we should flip a coin. What do you think? You guys agree flipping a coin? Seeing if you guys fight it out whenever we get to the city?
We'll discuss that off camera, though, because we're still live, and we'll leave that one for a surprise. But until next time, and as always, thank you for being here. Live long and prosper, and
Love, peace, and chicken grease!